Pawn Man talking Gundam, the Star Wars of Japan. As you might have noticed on the board behind me, there's this. This is my favorite mobile suit because I am a huge Mobile Suit Gundam nerd. I'm wearing a Mobile Suit Gundam cosplay right now, so let's talk a little bit about Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam premiered in April of 1979 in Japan. It was a story of giant robots in space and the next glimpse of human evolution. It was a ratings failure. And this initial ratings failure will go on to launch a multi-billion-dollar franchise that's still around and generating more money than ever 40 years later. The show was created by Yoshiki Tomino. He was inspired by science fiction in the late 1950s, particularly Starship Troopers. And in the late 1970s, giant robots, that concept, it was really big in Japan, but there wasn't any good storyline. Nothing really had any sustenance to it. It was kind of like a Michael Bay movie again and again, just with no real thought or plot. He didn't like that. He wanted something that had a more human element. The show centers around Amuro Ray. The story, basic story, there's space colonies in the distant future, and they secede from the Earth, and it's kind of like a Revolutionary War thing, and Amuro, living in one of the colonies, gets into one of the mobile suits, a secret weapon called the Gundam, and he basically cuts his way across space into Earth and single-handedly wins the one-year war. Now, what's interesting is, in my opinion, Amuro is one of the most unlikable protagonists in anything. In fact, Char Aznavour, the show's villain, is one of my favorite characters in pop culture, period. In fact, all the Zeon villains, the bad guys are the Zeon. That's what I'm wearing right now, one of their costumes. They're all immensely complex. They're super cool. Like, all the protagonists suck. It's really interesting. Anyway, the show was originally slated to be 52 episodes, but because it was such an initial ratings failure, it was dropped to just 43. But then after the show aired, two things happened that made Mobile Suit Gundam a powerhouse franchise. Tomino edited down the 43 episodes into 3 theatrical movies, and they were a massive box office hit in Japan. And on top of that, the model kits took off and became a huge moneymaker. In short order, in the 1980s, Mobile Suit Gundam becomes this insane thing. There's model kits, there's games, there's more franchises. It just explodes. Through the 90s, it gets even more popular. It gets introduced to America on Toonami. Gundam Wing premieres in the late 90s. That's how I got into Gundam. And Mobile Suit Gundam stuff, you guys, is hella collectible. This is the Seiko Mobile Suit Gundam 40th Anniversary Edition watch. It's $4,000. If you guys have never seen Mobile Suit Gundam, I'd strongly urge you to check it out. The 3 theatrical movies are where I would start. Like you guys might notice, this is the Zeon symbol right here. I have it sitting in all my videos. I even have it hanging on my door. I just love this Zeon, and it's not just because of nostalgia, it's not just because I think the characters are cool, it's because bottom line, all the characters, all the Zeon fighters, they never give up, and I just love that virtue. If you guys are interested in this, we covered all of Mobile Suit Gundam in episode 33 of Pawn Man. Go check it out, link in my bio, and like and follow Pawn Man for